Hello, folks. Brandon Chapman today with TheoTrade. It's June 8th. And boy, it's a bounce and fade today. I mean, those bulls that we're looking at today, optimistically thinking, man, we're ready for the upside. You know, sometimes you miss the obvious, the things that are sitting right in front of you. Sometimes your thought process is confounded because you're biased. You want the market to go up. And yeah, you know what? The bullish stance work, the pulling bulls work because the market goes up more than it goes down. And they rely on that, right? And then they say, oh, I called it. Well, did you? I mean, at this stage, did you call the decline on Friday? If you're watching the market, if you're watching gamma exposure, you know specifically what happened on Thursday as things began to shift and the downside chasm began to open up. You start to add in, seasonality for the NASDAQ, for example, sell in June and go away. They say, well, you know what? That's been a pretty dang good strategy, selling the first week of June and coming back in October on Halloween. Seasonality for the last 20 years has seen a top in early June and then comes back around in July, forms a higher high, and then starts to erode. And then by October 31st, it's time to get back in again if you guys have seen that data. So the point being is, as we look at the market right now, the idea being is, do you buy this week? Do you say suddenly the market's going to go right back to 7,600? It's the best time to buy. It's a generational buying opportunity. Buy with both hands. Use whatever metaphor you want. Is the market about to go to 7,800? Well, one of the biggest points in this process is understanding how gamma exposure relates to this market. So, for example, how dealers are positioned in the options on the SPX, on the SPY, on the NDX, on the Qs, etc., is going to have an impact. And it's probably one of the only areas where you can succinctly almost calculate where they're going to buy and sell, at least within a range of values. And as we start to look intraday, a 1 day, 5 minute, in fact, I'm going to bring up the SPY. On Thursday, in fact, let me just bring up a 5 day, 5 minute chart so I can really kind of lay this out. On Thursday, we saw a kind of a scenario developing here. And what you saw is that down in this area, you can kind of see something happening. And I'll bring up an ATR study. It'll measure the range between high and low on a 5 minute bar. Notice how off the bat, the range is expanding and we're remaining relatively high. We pull back, we bounce, and then all of a sudden what happens? We start to get towards 757 and 758. The market begins to grind and then kind of fades late in the day. Now, here's the deal. This is a great example of why gamma structure is so important, because down here, the gamma was negative. We saw a shift from Wednesday to Thursday, where Wednesday is kind of locked into this positive gamma regime, to suddenly anything down here close to 750 and above, we started a transition above 755. And all of a sudden, we started to get positive gamma around the 757, 758 to 750 level. Negative gamma leads to dealers or market makers leading to buying rallies and selling dips. When you get to a positive gamma environment, they sell rallies and buy dip. It creates kind of a sense of stability to the market. And as those puts that were bought work further out of the money, the dealer is there buying as they pull or as they draw down their hedges as we approach expiration. It's exactly what played out. But what changed on Thursday that wasn't existent on the previous day and Wednesday? The reality is that negative gamma regime had shifted. And not only that, we saw that the call options had begun to shift. And I'm going to go to 1 day, 1 minute chart here. I'm trying to find the best way to display it, but should get all of yesterday. So yes, on Friday, something very different happened. And what you saw was that the call wall wasn't at 760. The call wall was drawn down to 755. And suddenly 750, we have zero gamma. And all of a sudden, we start to see negative gamma all the way down. I laid out this game plan during my session on Friday at TheoTrade. And that was, look, yes, you can play the upside, but there's limited upside potential up here, right? Which is kind of a reflective of Skew, right? Limited upside, significant downside. Yeah, you might have a tendency sometimes to grind like we saw on Wednesday. But on Friday, everything changed, right? All of a sudden, that wall to the upside got shifted down and around this kind of 753 to 755 level. And then we have zero gamma at 750 for that expiring contract. And then all of a sudden we start to open up the downside. All it took was a break of 750. And then the next stop was 743. And then really the magnet level on Friday was 740. And so we talked about during my session, we break out of here, form a lower high. We're playing or staying bearish until 740. And you notice we kind of dipped down here. It was about 73,000 open interest on Friday just before the open. And then notice how we kind of came back and we almost kind of pinned that 740 level, which you kind of expect. It's a magnet, by the way, because it has a significant amount of open interest. So then we shift to today. And initially, look what happened overnight. We're just kind of grinding it out down here about 734. We slipped in the after hours right there. And then what happens? We start to come back around. So maybe some positive news out of Iran, yada, yada, yada. And then we open up, we kind of gap higher, opening at about 744. And then we slip, and then we rally again. Well, as we look at the gamma exposure for today, you start to realize, man, there is more opening to the upside right now. As you look at, for example, the 740, there is 8,500. But remember, we opened up about 743. Notice how the open interest on the call and put side is virtually identical. At 743, there's virtually zero gamma on this zero DT expiration. Well, then you get towards 745, we start to see more calls and puts, a little bit of positive gamma in here, but it does start to pick up around 748, 6,000 versus 4,000, 9,000 versus 4,000, and 750, 21,000, 6,500. So going into today, if you're looking at the gamma structure, it's like, man, if we can we got a negative gamma structure, 740. We're opening up around 743, virtually zero gamma. We have an opportunity here because of the balance between calls and puts to potentially run to 750. That was the bull case, right? We look at this first 30-minute open range. We start to break out here. We start to close north of 745, and then we began to wilt. And notice where we stall out the next round, 744, then 743. And we begin to work our way down. And this is why, because today, all of this is going to be gone, right? None of this is residual. It's going to expire today. None of it's going to remain. So now suddenly you're saying, hey, we got a major wall of 750. Well, yeah, but you know what? We're not going to achieve that. And part of the reason is if we look at tomorrow's expiration, we start to see a bit of a shift. So remember, last Friday, we didn't really see a major drawdown effect. Yeah, we had some interest build at 750. Yeah, we had a wall build at 750, but that provided some upside movement today in the market that may not exist beyond today. So now all of a sudden we fast forward to tomorrow and we see all of these tens of thousands of contracts traded on the call side starting where? 740. Well, starting out though, it wasn't like this. We didn't have all these calls building here. You notice on the put side, the puts, right, up to 743 and on the way out. A lot of this is going to translate to open interest. We'll see how much tomorrow or later today once they update the volume, which is updated throughout the course of the day. Open interest is end of day. But as we look at this, what happened was earlier at 743, 744, 745, we saw significant volume enter the picture earlier in the session today when I was on about 2 hours after the market opened. And then you see down here, starting at 743 and below, we see a lot of put options being bought, call options being sold, put options being bought. What happens is we're starting to raise the bar of negative gamma all the way up to 743 or balancing out, starting to see positive gamma enter at 743, 742. We're starting to see a balance out potentially and seeing negative gamma all the way down. So what happened today is we saw the 743s, the 744s, and the 745s be sold leading into this time frame right about right there. And then we begin to pull back from 745. We would come up and retest 74, retest 74, test 743, then test 742. Well, notice what happened is the day we're on, we saw more volume enter in at 742, 741, 740. We don't have exactly an fully offsetting number of puts. We don't know how much of this is residual, But starting here at about 742, you can see the balance and then the flip as we approach 743 tomorrow. So what does this mean? Depending on how much of today's volume translates to open interest tonight, we're going to start to see a structure that is not created at 750, causing the market to stall at 750. What we saw was the intraday trade, the selling of calls here, began to create a wall of positive gamma above the current price. Very similar to what we saw on Friday as it shifted lower down to here, right? Into kind of this area right there, peaking at around 755, but all the way down 752, 753, boxing the price in. And then we started to see the downside expansion. But again, we saw a similar dynamic on Thursday without necessarily the follow through to the downside. But the difference between Wednesday with the call wall at 60 to suddenly the call wall shifting down to 755 and starting to introduce positive gamma here, stifling the rally and accentuating the selling. Today, what we're seeing is a very similar dynamic, possibly for tomorrow, because on the top side, we still had 750. We had room to run. It was the intraday trade today that ultimately began to stifle the price as calls are being sold. Market maker has to buy calls, which gives them what? Positive delta, negative theta, but positive gamma. They sell rallies and buy dips. Now, as we move to tomorrow, looking at today's volume, it starts to paint a picture that ultimately is a bit more bearish, right? The walls have come down and they're centered and start really probably around this kind of 743 level. We start to maybe balance out a little bit at 742, but 743 starts to likely develop as a wall. And look at the volume up here. It's all resistance until we start to drop off here a little higher. 750 is obviously a high volume node as well. We start to drop off a bit above 750. And you notice there's very little volume on the put side. So right here, we have some balance. We start to see more positive delta occur, positive gamma occur here. But notice what's down here. We have negative gamma. So this is what we're going to see tomorrow. Do we have any sort of news that's going to allow us to start to clear some of these areas that might have a lot of open interest after today? Namely, right now, 745, volume 73,000 against 12,000 on the put side. So let's say all of that transfers over. We almost got 7 times on the call side versus the put. This is going to really stifle the price into 745, but then it begins to back off a little bit and then intensifies at 750. So as we break 745, all these puts in here, the market maker has to hedge those puts that were bought. They've got short puts. They've got bullish delta, positive delta. They've got positive theta, but negative gamma. What's going to happen is that delta hedge is reduced. If the price starts to make a move, this is going to cause some buying. So right now, what do we need to see overnight if you're a bull? We got to see some sort of news, some sort of break that's going to carry us through this kind of 743, 745 level. It's not necessarily a huge move, but it is something that is fairly significant. We got to see all these puts that might translate over here into open interest. You got to start to see the dealers start to buy back their hedges, which they have to short, and they buy back to cover. And a gap above 745 may allow the market to really push towards 750 tomorrow. That's a 10-point move on a $700 product. That's pretty significant, right? About 1.5%. Notice today we're only up 0.25%. And so, but on the bearish side, what happens if we open up similar to where we are today? We still have all of that positive gamma ahead of it. And again, as we start to rally, the market maker sells the rallies. But if we start to dip, guess what happens? We start to fall into that negative gamma regime where the market maker, what are they going to do? The dealer, they're going to sell into the weakness. So we're developing a very skewed result, especially if we open up similar or lower than where we stand today. Because boy, look at the call side. There's nothing in tomorrow's expiration, no volume here, no open interest. That's going to help provide a stabilizing force for the market as we get out towards like 10 days, for example, or let's just look at kind of end of week here, the 12th of June, and you start to look at these dynamics, you look at the open interest on the call side versus the put side. Again, we've really outrun the coverage. All of our call interest is up here closer to 750, and a lot of our put interest currently is down here. We've got 25,000. How much does that add to the open interest for Friday? We got 25,000 here. Not a lot of calls being traded over here, right? Until we start to get above the market, 18,000 at 745. Only intensifying, maybe balancing it out a little bit and neutralizing some of that negative gamma. But the reality is that negative gamma is positive if we can rally into this. So we're starting to see the walls start to lower. 745, very likely at 750. We see the downside negative gamma with very little support from the call on the call side, with very little open interest on here to provide any sort of stabilizing force. And as you go out to the monthlies, you start to experience some open interest here about every $5. But as we look at the immediate kind of downside here, 31 versus 17, 49 versus 15, 23, maybe around 725, we start to stabilize a little bit, and then we start to expand at 720. And boy, you start to break 720, maybe get towards down here 715. The negative gamma really starts to expand, and we're seeing there's very little support relative to the put side that's going to really provide any sort of positive gamma to help stabilize the price. So when we look at Skew jumping on Friday, the Skew index jumped to 152. We'll get this value shortly, but we jumped up as the VIX surged, a highly unusual result. But what happens is this means what? You kind of walk the stairs and fall out the window, right? We might grind in the S&P, but the downside risks are historically very, very elevated. And you can see that playing out right now in the gamma structure for the S&P 500. So if you think that today, and let's go back to the SPX, if you're basically drawing lines from last week, and I'm going to go to a 1-year daily chart if I can find it because I already got it. If you're trying to draw the same lines from last week leading into here, and again, began to shift a little bit on Wednesday, really shifted on Thursday, and then Friday they broke, understand is that the gamma regime that we're under today of calls and puts and dealer hedges and pulling off the hedges, their gamma exposure or GEX is very different today than where we were here. We're 760 or around 7620 or so on the SPX was that level. And again, we look at the SPY, it was 760 all last week. We could not overtake it. We failed to break. And instead, the structure changed on Wednesday, especially on Thursday. And then the lowered the call bar on Friday. We broke through some support and saw expansion of volatility. That wall was lowered to 748 to 750. And based on the volume today, that interest for tomorrow's expiration, because today doesn't matter, it just expired, but tomorrow we're seeing it shift down to 743 to 745. And then the next level, 750. So yes, if we can jump over it, if there's any news that might allow us to push through, yes, we got an open door maybe to 750 if we can break 745 and maybe retest and bounce. But the reality is the downside is way easier right now. We're a lot closer in proximity without any sort of push. There's a lot of resistance here as we get to 745. Any press below 740, we're going to start to see that opening for a downside sell-off expand. And that's what I was looking for today. It was a break of 740, a retest. We kind of got it here. We never really confirmed resistance all the way into the close, so I never really took it, and we were getting too close to expiration. But watch for that early tomorrow if we fail at 740, break 740 and then fail as a resistance. Look for that kind of setup because we might readily see the market drift or really sell hard to 735 as we're in a negative gamma regime down here below 740 where market makers or dealers are selling into weakness. Now, that does create opportunity for the market to rally, but it's going to get stifled as we approach 743 to 745. So the bulls, you better hope that we gap above 745, that there's some news that creates some overnight buying so we can break through those levels and start to create lift to 750. Because right now, that 745 is real. And for right now, it's spectacular. Well, folks, we'll catch you next week on the video. Have a great one. Thank you.